Welcome to Sunday Morning Quarterback with Jay Stockwell and Bob Frady.
Look at your fancy hat, Bob Fraley, Four Seasons Resort. Colina.
This is where my mind is after a 3-0 start by the mighty Huskers of Nebraska. I'm thinking Four Seasons thoughts right now. A little fancy, but still, every once in a while you got to think fancy, you got to think big, you got to think, yeah, that's where I want to be. That's where I am after 3 weeks.
You got the passports ready to go, Bob Fraley? Are you ready?
Oh, of course they're ready. We're ready. We're not going to talk about that, though. We're going to talk about Nebraska football.
Okay. But we're going to be in Italy on the next pod, so we got to be, got to be talking about...
It's going to be late, and we won't be influencers. We'll be under the influencers.
Yeah, it's going to be 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah. Go, my friend!
Okay, so here we are, pregame pod for Nebraska, Illinois. Nebraska rises to 22 in the rankings after their 3-0 start. Dylan Rhule is ranked number 4 quarterback in the league now. I saw that on one of the rankings.
Nice.
But Illinois comes in a strong 24th, and you like big coaches. And
I like coaches who don't like football coaches who are yoked. Make me suspicious that they're not spending enough time studying football, that they're working out in the weight room. It's like, I don't need you working out in the weight room. I don't need you feeling that kind of pain. I need you working out in the brain room. I need you working out on the play room. I don't need you working out in the freaking gym. Like, if you're standing, like Scott Frost, he was like so yoked it was ridiculous. It's like, what happened to this guy? Did he pop like a bucket full of roids before the show? It's like, damn, it's like you're not spending enough time in the playroom, which was true. Versus your big guys, your little rounder fellas,
I watched Bret Bielema's pregame conference, and he's just up there, just bigger than the podium, just like, we're ready to go. What are the lights? Blah, blah, blah. But here is what I love about this game. First of all, another under the lights night game. The atmosphere is going to be crazy good. Our defense is going to get incrementally better. Our offense is going to get incrementally better day by day, 1% of the time. The running back room is very good. The wide receivers are good. And, of course, our quarterback is unbelievable. Therefore, we are favored by 7.5 points with the over-under at 42.5, Bob Fraley. So I like the setup. For Friday night.
Let's be clear about Illinois right now. They haven't beaten anybody. Yeah, they beat the Chippewas, I think, of Central Michigan or whoever they are. They beat Kansas, who's a paper tiger. And
no, hold on. They were ranked 19th at the time. That was a good win.
At the time. There was probably a time in my life when I was ranked 19th and something, but it didn't last. They were like, he got here on reputation and maybe some bribes. And, yeah, he doesn't belong here. Kansas doesn't belong there. Unless the UNLV for crying out loud.
Another directional school. Eastern Illinois was their first matchup, so I agree. We've had a stronger schedule up to this point than they.
There will be some people who said we haven't beaten anybody either, and you know what? That's fine. So we got two teams who really are mysteries in terms of how good they really are. And whenever that situation arises, I bet on the Big Red because I'm a foolish Big Red fan.
Yep.
So I don't have any choice. But this year, I actually believe it.
Yeah.
I don't see this ending well for Illinois. I just don't see it.
We just haven't turned the ball over very much thus far, knock on wood. And haven't really shot ourselves in the foot on penalties. I mean, the second half of the Colorado game was a little benign, but they were being more conservative. But they were 28-0. They should have been conservative in the second. So
I would ask myself one question: which team is more likely to score 17 points?
Well, that's easy. That's Nebraska.
That's who's going to win the game.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that the defense, I think the black shirts aren't going to give up 17 points.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd be surprised if they gave up that many points.
So their scoring defense is 6.7. Nebraska's scoring defense 6.7.
Yeah.
And we're tied for 37th. They're 8.7, so they're tied for 48. But if you look at the matchups across the board, offensive and defense, Nebraska is favored. In particular, rushing defense. we're in a very strong position there. So it's everything points to a Husker victory, and a pretty convincing one at that.
I think it will be much like last week, where it won't be a blowout. It won't be like 52-3 or something like
Agreed.
that. But they will cover the spread and come in on the under again. Because track gamblers everywhere crazy. So what's the spread? 48, 44?
The over-under is 42. So
42. So that's 30-12.
I'm gonna give it 35-14. That's my prediction.
I'm gonna say 28-10. I just don't see the black shirts giving up that many points, and maybe they will. But against Illinois, come on. They scored 20 against UNLV. It's like, were they drunk? And, was it gambling the night before? What's going on? It's like,
we've only had one half where everything flowed. So I don't think we've seen the best out of this offense yet by any stretch.
I think watching the NFL has been a real eye-opener for a lot of people in terms of when you take a quarterback in and you jump them up to the next level. It's hard. It's like, look at all the freshman quarterback in the NFL who have 0 touchdowns between them. It's really hard. And every once in a while, you get a guy like C.J. Stroud, who's an anomaly, who does great. It's the same thing in college. You put a true freshman in there, and they're like, I was playing with high school kids last year. And, oh, wait, these guys are fast. And they get overwhelmed. This kid doesn't get overwhelmed. It's like, I don't know. I rarely get excited about individual players, but gosh, this kid, holy cow!
He's been exposed to his whole life. First of all, his dad was a 13-year pro.
Listen, Skip Holtz was also, for a lot of things. He wasn't such a great college player.
So I agree with you though. I'm really impressed by Rhule. And I think he's going to be durable because he doesn't really run unnecessarily.
Yep.
Whereas Harburg was getting leveled 4 times a game last year. But I love that about the last game, the way they were using Harburg, getting him around the field a little bit. I thought that was really cool.
It is. The other thing is that he got leveled on one play against Central Iowa or
Northern Iowa.
Colorado. And
that's right.
It's like, got up, dusted it off. So I don't. Plus the black. I don't think that the polar bear has played anywhere near his potential yet. Just seems that that big weight loss and the weight gain is maybe they're double teaming him and I'm not paying attention to it. And Ty Robinson is just sort of eating up all the air in the room. But I think as the season goes on, the polar bear will get even better. And we haven't seen
Ty Robinson playing great.
Yeah, we haven't seen him at his best yet. So I just 28-10. So they'll cover and come in on the under.
Yeah. Let's talk about other games in the Big Ten here.
USC and Michigan. Hold on.
Yeah.
USC and Michigan. What do you think about that one? And what would you have thought about it maybe a few days ago?
Yeah, I think it's USC by 2 touchdowns. They're only favored by 6, but it is on the road. It's in the big house, so that's going to be a tough one.
It is. It's interesting because if you'd have said at the beginning of the season that USC was going to win by 2 touchdowns over Michigan, people would have thought you were crazy.
Right.
And now you're not so crazy.
Hold on, what's the quarterback's name out there? What's his name?
Miller Moss.
Oh, yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he's had a great season so far. By the way, did you know that Rhule is already 41st on the Nebraska all-time passing list after 3 games? Like, Tommy Frazier, your numbers are in jeopardy.
You know whose take I'd love to get on this? I've been reaching out to him. I reached out to Vince a couple of times. I'd love to hear his opinion of.
We got to get Demo promised us Tommy Frazier. We're going to get Tommy on here and see what he thinks.
That's right. I got to follow up. Yeah.
So okay, what else we got? We got a couple of cream puff games: Ohio State and Marshall, Indiana and Charlotte, Maryland and Villanova. Although Villanova is undefeated right now. Kent State and Penn State.
Iowa, Minnesota could be interesting. Iowa at Minnesota.
Rutgers and Virginia Tech. Okay, I think them Hokies going to do something special this year.
I'll tell you what, we're gonna have to call Uncle Mark.
That'll be the Uncle Mark Bowl. We'll be rooting for Virginia Tech in that game. It's in Blacksburg.
We got to get Uncle Mark on the pod.
We will in due time.
Be a technical marvel if he could figure out the mechanics of it.
Iowa and Minnesota.
Yep.
That'll be. Listen, one of those teams is going to have 2 losses, and that's going to be interesting to see what happens. Michigan State and Boston College. I thought that Boston College got jobbed. Like, they lost to the number 6 team and they dropped out of the rankings when they were ranked. I'm like, are you kidding me? Just to put Texas A&M back in there? Free Texas A&M. So
who they lose to?
They lost to Missouri, who's number 6 in the country.
Yeah.
So,
right.
And then the last game is Oregon State and Purdue. I would take the over as long as the over was above 500, because poor Purdue, talk about a team on the wrong end of a whooping stick. They got whooped last week by Notre Dame, and Notre Dame was mad. And Oregon State's not going to be too happy coming off their interstate loss. So I think they'll put up a big 50 burger on them. So, yeah, nothing really too interesting beyond USC and Michigan, which should be a good game. And, of course, Illinois and Nebraska, which shall be a great game.
So, the reason George is not here for the pod is because
George got his license, and now it has to be a taxi service for the Stockwell clan.
I have hung up my Uber driver keys for the kids. George is in charge from now on.
Yeah, talk about throwing a kid to the wolves. It's like, why don't you drive across town and pick your sister up? It's only about 40 miles. It's like, what?
Yeah, I'll tell you a story. When I was in the Navy, flying the amazing P-3 Orion as a backseat tactical coordinator, mission commander kind of guy. Okay, very clear. Bob Freddy, you want a pilot, blah, blah, blah. So what?
Hey, I didn't say nothing. Don't put words in my mouth. But to be clear, you weren't the pilot. You were sitting in the back.
In that plane, the best job is in the back. I swear.
Knobs and dials. You're the knobs and dials guy.
No.
Just let's see. Let's get the trim built and then the latitude and longitude's off. Or is it longitude and latitude? I don't know.
The only mechanics on the plane that are called automatic pilot are in the front. Okay, so
I think that you were in charge of serving cocktails on the plane most of the time.
That was after the mission.
So yeah.
But anyway, so
no cocktails were served on Jay Stockwell flights.
That's correct. That is correct. The Naval Air Force is a dry, at least while we're airborne, is a dry service. Anyway, so it came time for my crew to get certified as a tactical coordinator and mission commander. And to do that, you got to go drop a torpedo, right? And normally they send a Zampolite along to sort of watch over you, right? And
so Stockwell, you had to drop your torpedo?
I had to drop a torpedo. And Lefty Jim Toscano was the ops officer saying, "Hey, Jeeber, why don't we send you down there on your own?" Because they didn't have anybody, right? So they had the reservation on the weapons range, and and I was like, "Hey, I get because there's always a Zampolite on these flights," and so I was nervous as you could possibly be. And we were based out of Brunswick, Maine, flew all the way to Roosevelt Roads, Puerto Rico, and actually Vieques is where the mining range was, the mining range, the bombing range, and they put a sled in the water, simulated torpedo, and you got to drop your torpedo, and it measures exactly how far away your torpedo is from the target. And at 25, 26 years old, my crew and I put it to 100 yards. So last night,
hold on, that sounds kind of far.
No, that's good.
How many boats are 100 yards long?
Not many. But that's close enough. It's more like hand grenades than anything.
Is this one of those things where if this guy's dropping a torpedo, then we're in real trouble? So it's like Stockwell, we need you. Drop a torpedo. It's like, I am dropping a torpedo. No, a real torpedo.
So yesterday afternoon, I'm starting getting these texts from Betsy, who's out of Dreamforce, and like, don't send George all the way to Mounds Park Academy to get Marion. And I was thinking it was in Mound, out like towards the lakes. And no, it's in St. Paul, like right through the densest part of Minneapolis. And George is kind of like lobbying for it. And so I sent him on his way and, saved myself an hour and a half because it's a 45-minute trip each way.
Yeah, I think you spent 45 minutes of that at our house drinking cocktails. So,
but then I came home and made dinner for them.
All it did was cost me money. Hold on a second. Wait, saving you money is costing me money. That just sounds like a little too good for you. So
this development of getting George the car and getting him licensed to drive that car is a very positive thing in my life. So we're pumped about it.
There you go. Good for George. Very happy for him.
All right.
So I think we're good here. Are we good?
I think we're good.
What's your score prediction?
I'm going 35 to what did I say? 35 to 14.
Okay, so you're taking the over.
Yes.
I am 28-10.
Okay.
And you know what? If they put up 28 points in the second half, in the first half, and it's 28-3, and the final score is 28-10, people are going to bitch. Like, listen to the fans complaining about the last game. I'm like, really? I went to the Georgia Southern game. I saw the Georgia Southern game. I'm not complaining about any victory.
I think Illinois is going to be tougher than we think, but I think we're going to prevail. I just think there's too many good things going.
Hey, he's a good coach. I'm sure he hasn't prepared well. I just think that for the buzzsaw that is Nebraska football, going to be a rude awakening for the mighty Illini. Plus, their corn's not as good as ours. So,
exactly. All right, Bob Frady, take us out.
Go Big Red!
Go Big Red! In Italy!
Italia! Go Big Red!